Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Make Alpha Name. Okay, so this article here is from cryptonews.com and it's titled XRP price prediction. We get another price prediction. It says following huge $2 billion capital surge. So there's your catalyst right there for the price prediction. $2 billion capital surge. Can XRP reach $10 in 2023? Before we read the article, let me know down in the comment section. Do you think that's possible? Do you believe that XRP can reach $10 in 2023? I know some people are saying, let's get to $1, $2 first. I know it's just a little fun thing to do. And it's interesting to hear people's opinions, which, by the way, I read a lot of comments yesterday, replied to a lot also. I don't know if people see my replies or not, but the consensus was that people believed XRP can reach $10,000 given time and given the catalyst and full utilization. That's what everybody was saying. So that was interesting to read. It was eye-opening. Let's begin here. It says XRP, the digital asset associated with Ripple, has experienced a significant surge in the capital with an influx of $2 billion. The notable increase in investment has sparked speculation about the potential price trajectory of XRP in the coming year. Investors and enthusiasts are now wondering if XRP has the potential to reach the $10 mark in 2023. Well, if the case is over and you're expecting obviously a much bigger influx than $2 billion, I would think, I could be wrong, I would think a massive influx, and that really depends. You would have to watch how much is actually coming in. I would say anything is possible, but heck, I would go more. $2 to $3 is more realistic, but sky's the limit with XRP. You never know. You never know. We don't know how many of these banks and companies are just going to start using it immediately. The case is over. There's no way to know that. But let's continue on here. But like I said, I think 2024, 2025, that's when if the case is over at that particular time. But by that time, then you can see something like $10. But first, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, those areas, a little bit of fluctuations there because people are definitely going to take profit. But let's continue on. It says investors and enthusiasts are now wondering if XRP has the potential to reach $10 mark in 2023. I would take it. I would love to see that. It says let's explore the factors that may influence XRP's price movement and evaluate the likelihood of it reaching the $10 milestone in the year ahead. So then it says here, it says it's important to note that while technical indicators suggest a bullish outlook, predicting the exact price movement of XRP, such as reaching $1.10 in 2023, is challenging. Traders and investors should exercise caution, I agree with that, and closely monitor the price action to make informed decisions in the coming days. Yeah, that's for traders. I wouldn't say for investors. Investors are typically long-term. We're here for the long haul. I'm here till the end. I will see what the full potential of XRP is going to be. But $1.10, listen, like I said, it's all predicated upon the ending of that case. And then you'll see the catalyst come. The catalysts are going to tell you everything you need to know if you're concerned about XRP's price in 2023 and 2024, right? So now let's move on here. So this article here is from CoinGape.com and it's titled SEC Introductory Disclaimer Win for Ripple and XRP Lawsuit News. It says, breaking, US SEC replaces introductory disclaimer, another win for Ripple. This is something that I didn't catch when I had my days off. I took like 2 days off. So we're going to cover it right now, to get caught up. Why not? I don't know what's going on here. You probably do. But let me catch up a little bit. It says the crucial dispute on the SEC Director Bill Hinman's 2018 speech is around the legal status he gave out to Ethereum. That we know. It says the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of New York recently produced a decision in favor of Ripple Labs on the Hinman speech, linked documents and emails dispute. A legal expert suggests that the recent court ruling might have led the U.S. SEC to change its disclaimer text when its executives speak in a public gathering. Ooh. So already they're feeling the pressure. Already we are changing the way that the SEC operates. It says they can't be so vague and They can't be as obtusely corrupt. That they use that vagueness to be corrupt. This is why they're just collecting money from everybody, and yet they're not providing any clarity. You get what I'm saying? It says here, U.S. SEC losing its hold in XRP lawsuit. That's what I like to hear. It says, according to Ben Edwards, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission tweaked its disclaimer for public speeches. It now mentions a statement that remarks given by the officials are in their official capacity. Is that so? If that's the so I guess you can't go back retroactively and say, well, it was always that way, right? It says it is expected that redaction came in response to the Ripple Labs discovery dispute. The crucial dispute on the SEC Director Bill Hemmon's 2018 speech is around the legal status he gave out to Ethereum. However, the commission tried to hide the internal communication which led to the infamous speech. It argued that whatever the former executive said was his personal views. This is what I'm talking about. And it did not represent the agency's position, decision, or policy. That's absolutely ridiculous. We know that. And that's one of the reasons we're probably going to win. I mean, a crushing victory, in my humble opinion. Which there's a lot of information going around behind the scenes that maybe it's all the win is already there. But who knows? Who knows? That's just rumors behind the scene. It says it is important to note that the U.S. SEC changed its assertion, and nobody knows what the judge is going to do. So I just want to make that clear. It's up to the judge. All right. It is important to note that the U.S. SEC changed its assertion on the speech a couple of times. The judge in the order mentioned the hypocritical position taken by the commission over the speech and documents. She stated that the SEC's lawyers, quote, lack a faithful allegiance to the law. Listen, that's a powerful statement. That's what the judge said. They lack a faithful allegiance to the law. That means they're possible lawbreakers. That's a way to say it. They're possible lawbreakers and corrupt without directly saying it. That does not sound like an agency that's going to win this lawsuit. It just doesn't, in my humble opinion. And maybe they do. I don't know. But I don't think that they will. And it doesn't sound like the legal system is in their favor. So now, let's move on to another article here. We have a lot of XRP news to get through today. This article here is from U.Today, and it's titled, New XRPL Hackathon to Commence. Here are the details. All right, tell me about this hackathon. Listen, anything that makes the XRPL stronger, I'm all for it, all right? It says Dr. Martin Heisboek, head of research at Uphold, has shared about an upcoming XRPL online hackathon. He tweeted, quote, the next XRPL hackathon starts on Monday. Bring it on, people. Said, bring it on, people XRP. All right, maybe I'm misreading that. I don't know. Maybe they miswrote it. I don't know. That's phrased a little bit strange. Heisboek adds, quote, with the end of obstruction in sight, there has never been a better time to build. I agree with that. I like this push. Is this? They said that this individual is from Uphold. Wait a minute. Let me scroll back up. Just give me a moment here. I want to know who it says head of research at Uphold. I like what Uphold has been doing. They've been making a push. Okay. Don't make me like you too much, Uphold. No, seriously, keep doing what you're doing. All right, let's continue on. You guys get silly sometimes. Let's keep going. Got to be professional. The anticipation for a quicker resolution of the Ripple SEC lawsuit is increasing as the days go by. Per the details provided, the Summer XRPL Online Hackathon, hosted by Dora Hacks in collaboration with Ripple, is scheduled to take place from June 5th to July 30th. The XRPL Hackathon was designed to support innovative projects and get developers from diverse backgrounds to explore creative ideas and transition from centralized systems to the world of blockchain. Oh yeah, bring that money right to us. Oh yeah, we'll take all of that. Eligible participants would partake in a prize pool of $60,000. That I don't care about that. Let's see, we have any, is there any more potent information here? Well, listen, I hope they continue to do well. I like the hackathons. I like when they do those incentivized contests to bring businesses in, things like that as well. Anything that grows these bank coin blockchains, these DLTs, I'm all for it. All right, so now let's go here. So now this next article here is from cryptonewsflash.com. They've been doing a tremendously good job over there. Make sure you check them out. They're the ones who had that article yesterday about the $10,000 XRP. It was a very interesting read, even if you don't agree. It was very interesting. So now let's read this little title here. It says, Ripple XRP IPO expected to surpass 20x valuation, propelling price to $600 per share. Rumors suggest company held private meetings with every reputable institutional investment firm. Oh, all right, Ripple. Tightening up your blazer, all right? Rolling up your sleeves a little bit. It says, as the news about Ripple being close to reaching a settlement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has ignited a new discussion over Ripple, planning for an initial coin offering very soon thereafter. The conversation sprung up as one tweet suggested that Ripple conducted a private roadshow event. Really? Earlier this year in April 2023. Back then, the blockchain firm met with a couple of Wall Street investors who showed interest in the company's IPO. Says Ripple attorney John D. And I think they miswrote something at the top also, but we'll come back to that maybe at another time. Ripple attorney John Deaton quickly weighed in noting that depending on the judgment of the SEC case, Ripple could be in a good position. He wrote, quote, if at Ripple wins the SEC lawsuit or gets the functional equivalent of a slap on the wrist, along with a ruling that ongoing and future sales of #XRP are not securities, the lawsuit will prove a blessing in disguise for Ripple. The lawsuit, I just need Ripple to do their job. That's all I need to do. Keep pushing XRP all around the world, XRPL and everybody else. Volante, anybody else building Zoom wallet, just keep on strengthening the XRPL. That's all I need. But just my humble opinion. So the lawsuit by the SEC has hurt Ripple and its business big time, with several exchanges delisting Ripple's native XRP token. As a result, the investors' interest in Ripple's XEP cryptocurrency, XEP? What? There's clearly a typo. XEP, no, XRP. Let's get that right. XRP, the standard, the maker of the new 1%. What's all the other stuff? What's the other phrases? XRP has so many titles. XRP, the king, all that stuff. Like, oh my word, not XEP. I don't know what that is, but Ripple's XRP cryptocurrency has gone down significantly. Oh, XRP, the Phoenix, like a lot of people use that Phoenix rising from the ashes. I love that. Has gone down significantly, which has not performed at par with other altcoins in the market. Yeah, but it's been held back. XRP, XLM, all the bank coins have been held back because they all have such a similar use case. How could they thrive if XRP is being attacked by the SEC? And now you see that Algorand is under the eye of the SEC as well. You can't play just yet, but if that was not going on, you would definitely see them running, in my humble opinion. Look how much they've expanded their ecosystem. I think all utility coins share that in common. They have massive ecosystems that are just waiting to explode, given opportunity and the proper catalyst, right? It says here, what could be the potential outcome of a Ripple IPO? Linda P. Jones, a renowned Wall Street veteran with a 25-year career in the financial industry, shared some insights into what could be the outcome of the potential initial public offering after a decisive legal ruling in the SEC lawsuit. In one of her recent interviews, Jones made a back-of-the-envelope calculation into estimating Ripple stock value. All right, we're going to stop right there. Once again, if you want to read the rest of that, hear the rest of that, it's on cryptonewsflash.com. All right. So now let's move on to here. This is an article from hey, wait a minute, I can't say the cryptobasic.com. I don't want to do it normal. I don't ever want to be normal. I like to be different. All right. But it just sounds better, doesn't it? I said that before, didn't I? I said that before. Thecryptobasic.com. It just sounds better. Sounds so classy. Anyway, this article is titled, Top Lawyer Mentions XRP Burns in Securities Debate with Former SEC Lawyer. There's always these old lawyers. Former lawyers, and they're constantly attacking XRP. You ever notice that? Like, what is the incentive behind people attacking XRP all the time? Why do they even care? I have no idea, but let's read this a little bit here. So I'm scrolling all the way down. We're near the middle of the article here. It says, reacting to Fagel, the enemy's opinion. I'm inserting that piece so you understand who he's retorting to. So reacting to Fagel, the enemy's opinion. In the thread, Attorney Morgan told the former SEC lawyer that the quote instrument on a native layer 1 blockchain like XRP Ledger has no relationship with investing. All right. The pro XRP lawyer noted that most L1 crypto assets are used to pay transaction fees or reward validators who secure the network. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I mean, don't get me wrong. We use certain terminology, and a lot of that terminology that we're using, it probably should be updated. Truth be told, it probably should. We're bringing old terminology from stock market, Forex, bonds, and stuff like we're bringing that over to crypto. And really, we probably should have new terminology for crypto, truth be told. It says, adding that these assets do not need to be offered by the issuers. Also true. Okay. According to Morgan, an issuer can give a significant amount of an L1 crypto asset as airdrops to its community, which we all know. We're all very familiar with airdrops. It says he added that even the United States Securities and Exchange Commission acknowledged the utility aspect of XRP and the ongoing Ripple lawsuit. However, the SEC still pointed out that XRP utility is limited. Unbelievable. It's only as utility is only as limited as where the companies building on it want to take them. You get what I'm saying? Oh, if they continue to expand utility, and they can, then the limitation is sort of not really there. It's like an artificial limitation. Anyway, says XRP burns are hardly a security. Furthermore, Attorney Morgan disclosed that he once used XRP to purchase a cap. You need a hat, sir? I just picture a lawyer with a backwards baseball cap. Anyway, following, I don't know why. My mind, I have a laugh or two sometimes. It says, following the completion of the transaction, he said a part of the amount of XRP he paid for the cap was burnt in the process. Why would you buy a baseball? You use XRP to buy a baseball cap? He says a cap. What? You use XRP. I don't know about you. My XRP isn't going anywhere. I'm not using XRP, just personally. I'm not using XRP to pay for anything. I don't care what anyone says. Not a single XRP, not a single XLM is going anywhere. Just know that. Not mine. No. You use XRP to buy a cap? I'm flabbergasted. What, sir? Shame on you. What? How much do you know about XRP? What? It's like that. We used to hear stories about like in the early days of Bitcoin, and people would use they hold Bitcoin for a while, they lose their belief, and then they use Bitcoin to buy something like some pizza or something like that, only for Bitcoin to explode at, the heights that Bitcoin has reached. And it's like, I know that they are just, upset with themselves as they spent that Bitcoin. So now, anyway, it says, although the amount of XRP burned was very little, Attorney Morgan said the incinerated coin, which was less than a cent, is hardly a security. Agreed. Good points made. Very potent, very direct. It says, quote, that is why the notion that XRP itself, when not sold or offered, is a security is nonsense, unquote. Morgan added. Wow. That was very good, sir. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So now let's move on here. All right. So now we're going to get on to a little bit of stellar news. So this was, once again, this came out when I took my little break. This was on June the 2nd. And they made this little post here. It says, captured by @Mucine's FR Paul on the island of Korčula, #stellar in real life. But look at the symbol on the glass. Yeah, stellar in real life. While you all are pushing USDC, look at the symbol. That's a Lumen's symbol, XLM. They got Bitcoin here on here. This is paid with crypto. They have Bitcoin on here. They have Ethereum, and they have XLM, right? Why are we not seeing it? I want to see this everywhere. We should be seeing this all over the place in the United States. Push this everywhere. But I mean, this is a good step. It's a good step. They're moving forward. They've been doing a good job. But I like to see this. But I would like to see more. I mean, you're trying to bank the unbanked. Let's get it started. There's no reason to wait, in my humble opinion. And I know the SEC, the possibilities of battle with them. You don't want their eyes on you like Algorand. But the difference is that Algorand Inc. is still active. So the SEC wants to battle them, right? you don't have that for profit anymore because Interstellar has been done for a long time. Everybody went over to Velo. We know that. You are a non-profit. And I know they can make certain arguments and such, but the time is now to start building, at least in the West. I know you're doing this around the world. We got a lot of stuff going on around the world. It's been great. Stellar's doing a good job so far. Stellar Foundation and a lot of other companies are as well. But let's start building a little bit, have some of this in the United States. Listen, there's check cashers everywhere. People are stacking cash everywhere, right? That's your competition right there. That's where you can get in. That's where the unbanked, the people that don't trust banks, is that market is ripe for the taking. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But this is very good. And I like to see that XLM symbol right there. All right. So now let's move on to a little bit more Stellar news. You got to give people a push. You got to give them a push sometime and say, hey, let's do some more. All right. You can be doing good, but you ever hear of doing good, but then you can do great. Never, I don't settle for good. If good is where you land, all right. But we can do great. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now let's move on to another little bit of Stellar news here, which actually in the future could be pretty big, in my humble opinion, if they expand what they're doing. So this article here is from institutionalinvestor.com. They're always doing a good job over there. Let's read this a little bit here. It says Franklin Templeton is acquiring Putnam Investments from Great West Lifeco, a deal that will combine two of the largest asset management firms in the U.S. And this is who Stellar has a relationship with. Do you honestly believe that this initial offering that Stellar is giving to Franklin Templeton, that initial way that they're using the Stellar blockchain is the only way that they're going to use it, and that they're not going to expand in the future? This is how you test things out. You test it out. They were very excited about it. They like how it's functioning. So you give it some time to make sure that liking of the system is validated. And then later on, you expand that. It's just a matter of whether Franklin Templeton wants to do that. And if Stellar makes that push for them to expand and say, hey, listen, we can do a lot more. You can use us in a lot of other ways, which I think as good business individuals, that will happen, but probably in the future. Got to give it some time. But this is massive. This is who we're dealing with. This is who we have a partnership with. Who's using the Stellar blockchain? It says the company said Wednesday that Franklin Templeton has agreed to pay $921 million for Putnam, about $825 million in stock up front, or 33.3 million shares, and about $100 million in cash. Look at the capital that they're playing with. I believe in the future it's possible. I could be completely wrong. I believe some of that could flow over Stellar. I think a lot of these types of companies are going to utilize Stellar. You saw the article that we read yesterday about XLM or Stellar, and it's saying that they want to act as this base layer to the stablecoin market. I think they want to act as a base layer, just period. XRP wholesale, but now of course Ripple is going to try to take a little bit of that retail market because it's just money on the table. They're going to scrape it up. But XRP mostly wholesale interbank payments. Stellar, as always, people have said for a long time, that base layer for retail, everything, all that regular capital. That's just the ambition. Doesn't mean they're going to take everything. But if you're starting out with United Nations, if you're starting out with Bankhaus Vanderhate, if you're starting out with Franklin Templeton, where do you think it's going to go? It's only up from here. This is my humble opinion. It says Great West, which is a subsidiary of Power Corporation of Canada, will then own 6.2%, a 6.2% stake in Franklin Templeton. Great West acquired Putnam in 2007. Pan Agora, a $33 billion investment firm owned by Putnam, is not part of the transaction. That we're not concerned about. Great West also initially plans to invest $25 billion in Franklin Templeton's investment managers within a year after the deal closes, and more in subsequent years, creating a strategic partnership between the Canadian financial services firm and a U.S.-based asset manager. Franklin Templeton will pay up to another $375 million in the deal, contingent on revenue growth targets from the partnership. This is unbelievable. And I'll say, like I said before, I believe that because Franklin Templeton is using Stellar, a lot of other large entities, their eyes were placed on Stellar as well. And they're going to say to themselves, if Franklin Templeton is using this blockchain, maybe we can as well. And because the leader at Franklin Templeton said everything on so many massive media sites, as far as praising Stellar and, oh, there's cheap transaction fees. It was so easy to deploy on chain. Because of stuff like that, that was one of the greatest advertisements we could have ever had. Now it's sort of like we planted the seeds. They've gotten a little bit of water. Now we wait patiently to see if anything grows out of it. All right, so now let's move on here. So this article here is from MSN.com and it's titled, Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran says Elon Musk is right about the real estate market. Wait, Alphanim was right as well. Don't leave me out. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, if you're a commercial property giant, Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran has some bad news for you. Like, it's just like, what was that wrestler? Was it Damian Sandow? No, wait. Or was it, he used to say, I've got some bad news. Who was that? Wade Barrett? I've got some bad news. I think it was Wade Barrett. Sorry about that. My apologies. That was a long time ago. My word. It says, has some bad news for you. The market is going to get much worse before it gets any better. Is that so? It says, in fact, it's going to be a bloodbath. Holy smokes. I thought it was going to be bad, but not that bad. All right. It says Corcoran echoed the sentiments of Tesla CEO and Twitter owner Elon Musk, who earlier this week tweeted, quote, commercial real estate is melting down fast. Well, that we know. That we know. It says, speaking to Fox Business, and when you're talking about just specifically commercial real estate, okay, I get that. There's tons of empty offices. They can't move that value. Why would you want to buy that? But I think it would be easier to sell if they were using distributed ledger technologies, fractionalize everything. Fractionalize everything. Then people and companies can buy pieces. It's still a matter of what are you going to do with it, right? People don't want to return to work. It's a very difficult thing right now. But anyway, so speaking of Fox Business, the Klayman countdown, I don't know how to pronounce that. This week, Corcoran, who sold her New York real estate brokerage for $66 million in 2001, smart move, said there isn't enough confidence in the commercial property market post-redacted, despite mandates from big businesses like Google, Amazon, and most recently Meta. Swaths of office blocks across the U.S. are still lying partially empty. Didn't I just say that? I just said that. Look, people do not want to go back to work. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I've seen it. I've seen it. There's people home, and I'm like, wait, why are they home? Like, you know, just at random times of the day. That's not normal, you know. And they're just in regular clothing. No more business suits. No more blazers. No more, what are those cars, those fancy cars that pick the people up in? Anyway, no more of those. And I'm like, wait, what? What's going on here? Then the next thing that happens after that, then you start hearing them building in their house, right? You get these wood deliveries and stuff like that. They're building their offices at their houses, right? So it's from top to bottom. So I don't want people to think, because a lot of articles make it seem like just the regular people don't want to go back. No, from top to bottom, I'm telling you, from top to bottom, the people don't want to go back to the offices. They're resisting. So what do you do with all that empty office space? Like I said, fractionalize that. This is according to data from security provider Castle. The average occupancy of offices across America is just at under 50%. Woo! With the New York metropolitan area seeing some of the lowest rates of tenancy. All right, we're gonna leave off right there. Let's get to another article here. So this article here is from financialtimes.com and it's titled The World's Public Debt Problem. All right, so let's see what they're talking about here. It says many governments around the world are managing their public finances like a spendthrift teenager with their first credit card. Regularly raising the credit limit with little regard for the mounting debt pile. It's funny, but it's funny and it's sad, but It's true. It's true. Unlike adolescents, they're really giving it to them, aren't they? Unlike adolescents, nations do not have the bank of mom and dad, okay, to bail them out. They are instead disciplined by financial markets, and central banks cannot endlessly keep buying their debt without stoking inflation. Indeed, as interest rates and demands for spending have risen, governments across the world can no longer ignore their elevated levels of debt. Although inflation and the economic recovery from redacted have shrunk public debt from its peak, it is still well above pre-2020 records at about 96% of global gross domestic product, or $86 trillion. Expensive lockdown support packages in rich nations are largely to blame. The U.S. finally reached a political settlement to suspend its $31.4 trillion debt ceiling. And that's so mind-blowing in my opinion. So you remove the debt ceiling for 2 years so they can spend anything that they want. How does this make anything better? And if they were reckless before with no ceiling, they're going to be super reckless in my humble opinion. And given the history of what has occurred with loose monetary policy, they're going to be super reckless now. It says, but its deficits remain on course to rise over the next decade. The EU is wrangling over fiscal rules that have been suspended since March 2020. The UK is predicted to meet its target to have its debt ratio falling within 5 years, but only if the government sticks to tight post-election spending. I just don't see how these places are going to survive. They will be changed. They have no choice. The West is in rapid collapse. Simple as that. I mean, those who are prepared, it won't be too detrimental to them. But those who are not prepared, whoa, Nelly. High debts were less of a problem after the financial crisis. There's another one coming. The banking system is looking terrible right now. It says when interest rate, which will drive them right into the arms of DLTs. Bring that money right to us. It says when interest rates were at record lows, now that rates have shot up rapidly alongside total debt, interest spending as a share of GDP is set to remain elevated in many countries over the coming decade. Let me say this also. That don't ever forget the huge problem. It's not just the regular banks, but it is also what they call the shadow banks. When they're raising interest rates, it doesn't just hurt the regular banks. And we haven't seen that sword come down, right, from the shadow banks just yet. Look it up for yourself. Look at it. They're writing articles all the time about this. People just don't cover that type of news. All right, so now we're going to leave that there. Let's move on to another article here. So this is from news.bitcoin.com, and it's titled, Renowned Investor Jim Rogers. Okay, so we've heard a lot of people say this. He says, worst bear market in his lifetime is coming. Is that so? So we've heard a lot of people saying that there's something coming. Just something to keep in mind, just in case. Nothing to panic over, but, if you feel like you need to take precautionary measures, hey. It says Jim Rogers on U.S. debt crisis, worst bear market in the U.S. dollar. So even this individual is talking about the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar losing dominance. Everybody else, there's so many experts that are saying, iterating the same thing that I've been saying. Or rather, we're saying similar things about the U.S. dollar's dominance and what's different now than in the past when others have claimed the dollar was going to be greatly diminished. The difference now, once again, is that there's actually a cadre of countries that are putting into practice dollar dumping and coming up with a system that does not use the dollar at all. That's backed by gold. Possibly. So veteran investor Jim Rogers reiterated his warnings about the biggest market downturn and the U.S. dollar losing its global reserve currency status during an interview with Real Vision last week. Rogers is George Soros' former business partner who co-founded the Quantum Fund and Soros Fund Management. He cautioned. Okay, well, let's hear what he has to say. It says, quote, the next bear market will be the worst in my lifetime. Oh, the next bear market. Okay. Because the debt has gone up by such staggering amounts in the past 14 years. Okay. It's making sense so far. Rogers reiterated his previous explanation that the U.S. experienced a bear market in 2008 due to excessive debt. He pointed out that since 2009, the debt level worldwide has skyrocketed. Quote, "We should always be concerned about Washington. They don't have a clue what they're doing, and they proved it day in and day out," unquote. He opined. Okay, making a lot of sense. Haven't I said that exact same thing? Yes, I have. So far he's making, and I say this with all due respect. Just what they're doing is either is pure sabotage or they're completely ignorant. It's one of the two, because nothing that they do makes any possible sense. They couldn't run a business. No way. Let's continue on. It says, the renowned investor also believes that the US dollar will lose its status as the world's reserve currency. Discussing the global de-dollarization trend, he emphasized that numerous countries are actively seeking alternatives to the US dollar, partly due to concerns over its substantial debt issue. Moreover, he mentioned that the weaponization of the US dollar creates an incentive for nations to reduce reliance on the US dollar, like what we heard France say. Then we had an article yesterday that was talking about BRICS nations was approached by European nations. So not just France. They said nations. If that's to be believed, then that means multiple. Something's coming, people. I'm telling you. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe not. But right now, the actual information that's out there says that something is coming. We shall see. It says, quote, "You should be extremely worried." Nah, I wouldn't say worried. Look, no, we don't need fear or worry. But if people feel like they should protect their wealth and take precautionary measures, so be it. But never operate out of fear. That's just my humble opinion. It says, if you're not, you don't know what's going on. Oh, no, we definitely know what's going on. But we're not going to be afraid. We're going to take precautions. All right, to protect our value, to protect ourselves. Always be prepared. It says Rogers shared that he is, quote, looking every day, quote, for an alternative to the USD because he knows, quote, something bad is going to happen in the currency markets in the next 2 or 3 years. I'm going to stop there. He's saying a lot of stuff that I've been saying. So, I mean, he's making a lot of sense. I'd like to hear more from this individual. He's not telling any lies. You know, people may look down on him because of his associations. I know a lot of people don't like that other individual. But what this individual here is saying makes a lot of sense. All right. So now let's move on here. So this is an article from Kiplinger.com. Treasury bills versus treasury bonds. Know the difference. So let's scroll down here. All right. We're going to, this article begins here, but we're doing a little bit of extra articles here today. You know, you can thank the members only section. They keep the channel alive. So we get a little extra here today. It says the federal government raises huge amounts of money by issuing debt securities. Treasury bills and treasury bonds are the two main varieties buyers invest in. They both have the backing of the, quote, full faith and credit, unquote, of the U.S. government. This means investors have a fairly low risk of non-payment of interest and loss of principal. Treasury bills and bonds each have a starting price of $100. You can buy these either from a broker or directly from the federal government using the Treasury Direct website that we know, which does not charge a fee. Quote, all treasuries are salt-free, unquote, says Judith A. Ranieri, a vice president and portfolio manager at Gabelli Funds, LLC. That is, the interest earned is state and local tax-free. Now you understand why people love Tbills so much. And the reason I'm covering this is because we've been speaking about Tbills extensively over the last 2 weeks, as they have played a huge part in the markets and what's been going on. Because these securities are only subject to federal tax, unquote. While these investments are both government-backed debt securities, there are some major differences between treasury bills, Tbills, and treasury bonds. Mainly, they vary in when the principal is repaid, which is called the maturity of the security, and how the interest is paid. Maturities. For a treasury bill, there are 6 maturities: 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 13 weeks, 17 weeks, 26 weeks, and 52 weeks. This flexibility is a key advantage. It allows investors to better manage their short-term cash. Quote, treasury bills can be used as a cash alternative within a portfolio, unquote, says Sarah Kalsman, a certified financial planner at Betterment. Quote, they provide a relatively stable return while preserving capital during volatile market environments. Thus, you saw what happened with the whole debt ceiling, debt deal, and all that stuff, and all of the raucous around T-bills around that time, as people ran to them for a lot of different reasons. So treasury bonds, on the other hand, have only two maturities. They are for 20 years and 30 years. To bypass lengthy maturities, you can sell bonds before they mature. The same goes for treasury bills. In fact, this is a common practice as each investor has unique goals and requirements for their portfolios. All right, we're going to leave off right there. So now let's go on to another article here. Oh, we're going to end off with this. And then the other articles that I have here, we're going to make a pretty good members only video. OK, so this article here is from forexlive.com and it's titled "Some Weakness Under the Surface of a U.S. Jobs Report, but the Fed on Pace for July Hike." All right, so let's see what they're talking about here. Oh, actually, we have another article. It's the silver and gold article, our precious metals article. So let's cover these two and then we'll close out the video. So it begins here. The U.S. dollar has grinded higher in the past hour, even as risk assets add to gains. S&P 500 is now up 1.3% on the day. And even with that, the cable is down 41 pips. The market generally sees the U.S. unemployment report as strong, but there's been no change in the 29% implied odds of a June hike. CIBC forecasts a final Fed hike in July, but the market has priced in just 17 basis points, really, of hiking at that meeting, with many seeing the likelihood of a further economic deterioration between now and July 26. Wow. That's interesting. CIBC noted that the household survey tends to be more volatile and less reliable month to month, and 310,000 drop in jobs was a stark contrast to the establishment survey at plus 339,000. However, year-to-date comparisons suggest the household survey has added 1.9 million jobs compared to 1.6 million in the payroll report, indicating the May report could be a correction for previous over-reporting. I agree with that. That's definitely possible. All right, now let's close out with this one here. All right. So this article is from worldbank.org. All right. And it's titled "Precious Metals Outlook Hinges on the Interplay Between Inflation and Monetary Policy." It says precious metal prices recovered slightly in December, but remain well below their March 2022 highs. Yeah, but there was catalyst for those highs. We know why the people ran into the precious metals. So there was always going to be a healthy correction. It says rising interest rates along with a strong U.S. dollar continue to outweigh safe haven demand. Keep in mind that they're calling for a weaker dollar into the future. We will see. But it says, but robust central bank purchases provided some support. Silver prices have been hampered by weak industrial demand. Yes, but there's also a massive, you got to keep in mind, there's a balance to everything. There's also a massive call right now. I mean, not call, let me not phrase it that way, but there's a massive push like everywhere I've been seeing for people to buy the dip. And people have been saying they're going to buy the dip. So I think in the precious metal sector, people are not really looking at spot prices like that. They're looking at long term. They're using these things for long term for a lot of reasons to protect their wealth, right? So when things go down, people are just planning to buy more. At least that's what I've seen. It says silver prices have been hampered. It says whereas platinum prices have rebounded more strongly. Yeah, but it was a heck of a correction on platinum as well. It says reflecting a recovery in auto catalyst demand and supply challenges. Also, nobody's worried about platinum or let's say like silver or gold. Platinum is going to have a massive deficit as far as how much is available for certain reasons that have not changed as of yet. So, I mean, the future is looking bright for platinum. My humble opinion, not financial advice. All right. It says precious metal prices face both headwinds and tailwinds in 2023. I completely agree with that. A more aggressive tightening of monetary policy in response to elevated inflation would dampen prices, while an end or a reversal of interest rate hikes and an intensification of geopolitical tensions could provide support for prices. All right, we'll keep our eyes on everything. As far as I'm concerned, as a long-term investors into precious metals, everything's looking solid, in my humble opinion. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. I appreciate every single one of you out there, man. I hope somebody's showing you love. If not, Alpha Neem loves you. All right. All right. Hope you have a good evening out there. And if you're watching in the morning, I hope you have a good morning. So until next time, let's get to the money.